Welcome from Theodore Roosevelt National Park, located in western North Dakota, the only national park named after a US president. This video we will cover all the great things to do, experience the amazing landscape, see the wildlife, and also learn a bit of history. I spent 2 incredible days covering both the north and south units, and let's get started with the south unit first. First stop is the painted canyon overlook, which gives you a panoramic view of the North Dakota Badlands, which have been sculpted by the Little Missouri River and its several tributaries. The trail was extremely muddy and I was constantly walking on a mixture of mud as well as bison poop. The park was created to honor the legacy of Theodore Roosevelt, America's 26th president, who came in 1883 to hunt bison to the Dakota Territories, and the Badlands of Dakota left a lasting impression on the president.
Theodore Roosevelt didn't pause much in his life, but he did stop here. And he changed because of it. He lived most of his early life in New York, but traveled here first to hunt, then to ranch and raise cattle, to immerse himself in the wild frontier before it was gone.
Nowhere, not even at sea, does a man feel more lonely than when riding over the far-reaching, seemingly never-ending plains. Their very vastness and loneliness and their melancholy monotony have a strong fascination.
And this is where the conservation ethics were sown, and he was solely responsible for creating many national monuments, the National Forest Service, as well as several other national parks during his tenure. I'm having to take this trail detour because there are 2 big bison right on the trail itself. It is always a good idea to stay at least 300 feet away from this bison, who can be deadly. Whichever trail you take, you always see some bison poop, which means these bisons are roaming everywhere. And there are lots of bisons in this national park. Also, if you cannot tell, the trail is very muddy. So if you're coming in the month of May, make sure you have proper hiking boots. I believe this is the sagebrush. It smells so beautiful. Oof. So nice. All these surrounding mounds are called buttes and not hills. So they're basically crusty formations carved by wind and the Missouri River that kind of flows through these badlands. Next up is the Wind Canyon Trail, which is another short 0.5 mile trail, and that gives spectacular views of the Missouri River and the Badlands. The Wind Canyon Trail definitely has been the highlight today. You can really appreciate the extent of the entire Badlands, the prairie, the grasslands, and the little Missouri River twisting and turning. Bison is by far the biggest mammal in North America. I can see a couple of bison grazing in that valley down below, and those bisons are easily a couple of miles away, but I can still make out those 2 bison. Man, these are huge creatures. You can see the rain in the distance, so this is probably going to be the last point on this 36-mile loop, which actually is closed a few miles up, so you actually cannot do the full loop. So you have to drive about 24-25 miles in and then drive back the same way. But even on this, even over here, this boycott overlook, the views are spectacular. The 2 constant companions for me throughout the day have been the spectacular view of the Badlands and this bison poop. It just seems to be present on every trail that you take in the park. This is the highest point in the national park. It really started to pour. I'm just glad I was able to finish this last viewpoint. Have a look at this. It is absolutely pouring out here. So after exploring the south unit yesterday, I am headed to the north unit. The north unit is separated from the south unit by a 1 hour drive or about 50 miles. And if you want to do both the units, it's better to kind of spread it across both the days. Unfortunately, the rain that started last night has been following me even to the north unit. The wind gusts are exceeding 50 miles per hour. The badlands of the north unit definitely are more impressive and are just more majestic and just in your face. They're so close to the scenic loop. The north unit definitely feels much more wild as compared to the south unit. The badlands are made up of so many different layers, where each layer consists of either sandstone, shale, petrified wood, logs of redwood, as well as lignite coal. These are telltale signs that these hills and mounds were once upon a time buried under the ocean. All the rain that has fallen today is actually causing erosion right in front of my eyes. This is geology in fast motion. So a bit of a miracle has happened. After 2 days of incessant rains, the sun has finally come to the party. So as I was heading back out of the north unit, the sun decided to show up. So I took advantage of that and came back to the Painted Canyon Visitor Center, which is where I started yesterday morning. And the Painted Canyon is now really living up to its name thanks to the magical evening sunlight that's now shining on all these beautiful multicolored badlands. This is a national park that is definitely off the beaten path. It is far less visited as compared to some of the other national parks nearby. If you are ever in this area, definitely make it a point to come to Theodore Roosevelt National Park. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know in the comments what did you think about this video. And until we explore some other national park, it's bye.